Okay, guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Now, fasten your seatbelts. Here we go. Okay, guys, I'm back, and it is Thursday, January the 23rd. Now, immediately, you will probably recognize the fact that my audio is horrific. And why would that be, you ask yourself? Well, let me tell you. I had two doctor's appointments way out of town today. And so I went to those, and I always put my microphone away and my lighting and stuff in a closet that I have. But apparently, when I put it away, there was a little tiny piece of the cord sticking out. And what do you think happened to that cord? Cats, cords. Yeah, you're right. So that is what the issue is. So I thought to myself, well, I can do one of two things. I can either cancel tonight's video, which I didn't want to do because I got two of them, or I could wait till, I could just do it the way it is. And tomorrow I'm going to go out and get a new cord for it. If I can, I am really, really hoping that I can find a cord for my microphone. Anyway, so that is what the issue is. That's what happened. And that's why the audio is so bad. So please don't send me a whole bunch of messages saying your audio's messed up. Yeah, I know it's messed up. So this is what I was planning on doing tonight. And I do have people to thank, but I'm going to do that in the next video. Now, Q also posted today. So here is the dilemma. When I got home, I was rushing and rushing, trying to get everything ready, and I got two videos ready, and then I realized Q had posted, and I thought, well, no problem. If it's just a couple posts, I can get that ready, but it's not just a couple posts. So I'm going to have to bring Q to you tomorrow, and I do apologize for that, but I just don't think I'm going to have time to do 3 videos, and the videos that I'm doing are very important as well. So tomorrow I'll get us caught up on Q and whatever else, and hopefully my audio will be much better tomorrow. So hang in there with me. All right, this video, this is the first video I'm going to record tonight, and it is about the coronavirus because things are even worse, much worse than I even reported in the first video that I did yesterday. So let's get into this and let's see what's happening, because this sure isn't being reported in the local news or the mainstream media in general. I don't think anybody's really reporting it. In fact, even the mainstream media overseas are reporting that there are only 17 dead, and that is ludicrous. Seeing the videos and the pictures that are coming out of Wuhan, yeah, a lot more than 17 dead. And do you really think that they would quarantine 4? Yes, 4 cities now are under quarantine. A total of 22 million people are under quarantine. 22 million. Imagine that. Imagine the logistic nightmare of quarantining 4 cities. One, 8,000 people. That's a lot. Or is it 11,000? I think it's 11,000 rather. And the second one is 8,000. And then the 2 additional make up to 22,000. So just imagine the logistical nightmare in that, because nobody's allowed in, nobody's allowed out. The taking pictures on the subway trains, they're just empty. The city transit is shut down now. All the trains are shut down. Everything's shut down. You can't get anywhere, and you can't drive anywhere. Well, you can within the city, but if you want to go out, all of those checkpoints are very well guarded. So nobody can leave, nobody gets in. And the doctors are dropping. Some of them have the coronavirus as well, and some of them are just dropping from sheer exhaustion. So there's a lot going on, and yet the World Health Organization still hasn't called it a global concern, a global danger. I don't know how they word that, but that is unbelievable to me. It's unbelievable because it's quite evident that China is covering this up and trying to make it seem like it's much better than it is while they quickly try to get it under control. It's not working. It's spreading to all the areas around it. There are 5 now in Montreal that have it. I have heard that there's 1 in the United States, yet Canada is not listed on that list of countries that it's been discovered in. And I'm not sure if the United States is, but it's now in Singapore, Japan. Well, I think Japan turned out not to be right. That was not. It was a false positive, I guess. So anyway, let's get into this and see what we have and where we're at. Again, I apologize for the audio. I know it's awful, but it's all I have, and I thought you'd probably want me to do a video despite that. That's how I figured anyway. I think I know you guys pretty well, and you're pretty tough, and you're pretty, yeah, we'll soldier through the bad audio. We want a video tonight, so that's what I'm doing. All right. So infected people seen dead in the streets in quarantined Chinese virus city. Exclusive disturbing images on Instagram from inside Wuhan show residents dropping to the floor following a lockdown of the city by Chinese authorities. Now, there are hundreds, literally hundreds of these videos that are coming out of people just dropping in the street. And some of them, you can tell they're still alive because when they move them, there's a little bit of movement. Other people, you can tell they're not alive. Like this guy right here. There's blood all around his head because apparently, and what they're saying is that, yeah, the pneumonia is making people cough up blood. Well, yes, pneumonia can do that because I know my stepfather had pneumonia very, very badly, and he was coughing up blood, but not in the quantities that you'll see with this guy. So I'm just wondering, what is it that we have here? And has this been planned? Now, yes, okay, that's getting into fear porn area, but we know that things like that have happened before and they will happen again. So I don't know, but let's just take a look at this video. It's not a great quality, but I will, and there's no sense playing the sound because we don't speak the language anyway. So let's go here. Now, hang on here. Sorry, we'll get this. Oh, maybe it's not gonna, maybe it's down here. Anyway, I do have that somewhere else as well. Disturbing images of Wuhan residents dropping unresponsive to the floor have emerged on Instagram following the diseased Chinese city's coronavirus lockdown. Wuhan has been branded a zombie land by frantic locals after Chinese authorities told residents they are not allowed to leave yesterday morning. Pictures from inside the city paint an apocalyptic picture as medics patrol in hazmat suits and gas masks. In an upload direct from Wuhan, a man can be seen lying unresponsive on the floor as concerned individuals look on. And there are lots of these, lots and lots of these. This is at a hospital where this man just dropped dead. And I do believe when I saw them, because there's other video of them coming to get the man, he was not responsive at all. So he's either unconscious, but still alive and clinging to life, or he has passed. And there seems to be a lot of that for only 17 dead. Not a chance that is true. All right, so let's leave this, and we've got lots more of pictures such as those. And let's get off of there. Let's bring this back up again. And let's take a look at some of these, because you're not going to find this on your local news. I can assure you of that. Hopefully they won't censor this, but there is another person that has just dropped in the streets, and the people are there with hazmat suits to take them to the hospitals, but the hospitals are desperately crowded. And the doctors have been working around the clock. Now, I have heard that there are more doctors on their way that have volunteered to go and help with this, well, what I'm calling an epidemic, because it surely is. But, you know, is it too little too late? I don't know. But here we can see, let me take this back. We don't need the sound, especially when the audio is so bad. But yeah, they're just simply, now he's not moving at all, not at all. not a twitch of movement there. And they're just, nobody's thinking like, oh, wow, what's wrong with this guy? No, they all know what it is. 17 dead? Are you kidding me? In a city of 11 million? Right, right. Is this guy one of the 17? I doubt it. Now, let's go on now because there's lots more. And I just want to show you what is actually happening there. Not what we're being told is happening, but what is actually happening from people that are there who are uploading these videos. And really, these people could be imprisoned for that. They're not allowed to be. It's being censored. They don't want anything uploaded from Wuhan. So people are, trying to get this out in roundabout ways, and it is getting out, which is great. Otherwise, none of us would really know the truth because we can't depend on our mainstream media to tell us anything. Well, they'll tell us things, but it won't be true. So let's look. Here's another one just dropped in the streets. And this guy, I believe, is the one that has blood all around his head. Now, please, that is not typical to be coughing up that much blood with pneumonia. Yeah, I'm gonna turn this off. Now, hang on here. I'm trying to catch this where they're showing his head. And it's not easy. Okay, right there, you see all that? And I know it's hard, especially for you people on your tiny phones, but there's blood all around his head, all around his head. And this is obviously a case of the coronavirus because they're wearing hazmat suits to get this guy who's literally just dropped in the streets. And that is probably from his coughing. He probably dropped and was coughing, and that's not sure if he's dead, but that's an awful lot of blood. Now, the other thing is he may have hit his head when he fell. That's true too, because I've seen many of these pictures. In fact, there's one, and I think I've got it, of a person, and they're just standing, they're upright, and they all of a sudden just fall over right onto their face on the sidewalk. They're sick. So, yeah. So there's this guy. They're coming to get him in hazmat suits, and there's people looking on, which are not wearing masks, which is not wise. So I wonder if they are next. So there's that one. And let's see. There's so many. There's so many of these, but let's go back and we'll hit on a few others. And let's go to here. All right, and this is a video from Wuhan Hospital. I think we've already seen this. Patient collapses on the ground. Yeah, he looks like he's not just collapsed. He looks pretty, he's not moving at all. And of course, people are all there, and somebody does eventually come to get him, but it's pretty awful. And don't think I'm just cherry picking these. Like, there's tons of them. You can go out and look for them yourself. You don't need me to do that. And you can see for yourself. I mean, this is very widespread in the city right now. We are not being told the truth. And think about it logically. If there were just 17 people infected and that was it, don't you think that would be pretty easy to contain? Relatively easy. But they shut down a city of 11 million during the, this is the peak business time. Like, what do you call that? It's their retail. This is their peak time. You know, like ours is Christmas time. Well, theirs is the Chinese New Year. That's when everybody travels. Everybody travels. Everybody gets vacation. Everybody is spending money, gifts, all that. And to shut a city down, 4, not just 1, 4 cities down, and quarantine them and bring in personnel to guard them and shut down the airports and shut down the transportation and shut down all the stores. Well, the grocery stores and so forth are open, and maybe there's other stores open as well. I would assume that they would be, because the people in there still have to carry on living their day-to-day lives and get groceries and so forth, but the grocery stores are looking pretty empty from what I've seen. So to do something like that for 17 people, not a chance, not a chance. Otherwise, they would have taken Ebola a heck of a lot more seriously. But you didn't hear of anybody being quarantined to the point of nobody in, nobody out during the Ebola crisis. So yeah, there's something going on here that's not good. Now, let's take a look at this. And this is from Texas A&M student being monitored after showing symptoms of coronavirus. So it's right at our back door now. College Station, Texas, the Brazos County Health District announced Thursday it's investigating a possible cause of the 2019 novel coronavirus in a Texas A&M University student. The unidentified patient recently traveled from Wuhan, China, where the current coronavirus outbreak originated. So I'm not going to get into that because it hasn't been absolutely confirmed yet that I'm aware of. If you know whether it's been confirmed or not, please let me know in the comments below. But as of right now, I don't believe it is. So that's bears watching. And let's go back now, see what else. Now, this is a little bit wild too. I've never heard of anybody undertaking such a thing, but, and also, if there was only 17 dead, do you think they'd be doing something as radical as this? Because let's look down here what they're doing. Chinese city orders workers to build a dedicated coronavirus hospital in 6 days. 6 days in a desperate bid to tackle the deadly outbreak. 6 days they're going to build this huge hospital. Wuhan reportedly ordered a state-run firm to design the facility by tomorrow. The emergency center is expected to be up and running by next Wednesday. An expert warned the outbreak could be 10 times worse than the SARS epidemic. It already is. It already is. Wuhan, a provincial capital of 11 million people, has been put under lockdown. 2 more Chinese cities in the same province are shutting down transport today. The virus has killed 17 people. Oh, really? 17 people, and you're building a new hospital in 6 days? 6 days. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're shutting down cities, losing the money that they're losing, because think about this. This is the time of year when retail people make all their money, the Chinese New Year. But not this year. All the festivities have been shut down in China. As far as I know, all of them in all of the cities have been shut down, and they're recommending people stay put, don't travel. Sounds like good advice. So yeah, more than 17 people are dead. And if you listen to the people that are actually living there, yeah, you get a more reasonable number. All right, now let's come down here. Cruise passenger dies after making a clean. Okay, well, that we don't care. Well, we do care about that, but that's not within this story. And let's come down here. Yeah, I guess that's really all there is to that. So let's go on. There's more to get to, always more. All right, let's, where am I here? Here I am, right here. All right, and let's look at this. Gee, what a coincidence. Wow. Chinese lab that studies world's most dangerous pathogens is based in Wuhan. No, you don't say. I thought it came from, they say it came from bats. Now they're saying it came from snakes, and they're saying it came from rodents. They don't know where it came from. The story keeps changing every 5 minutes. It's snakes, it's bats, it's mice, it's, I don't know. Chinese lab that, well, it's a better story than saying it got out of the lab, isn't it? Isn't that a better story? Yeah, happened at the wet market, all that strange food there, which is bleh, but Anyway, okay, some question if virus was accidentally released, like me. Yes, I'm questioning that. I bet you are too, now, after finding out this. A biosafety level 4 laboratory that studies the world's most dangerous pathogens is based in Wuhan, the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak in China, leading some to claim that the virus could have accidentally escaped the lab. That's never happened before, has it? I can't think of any examples where that happened. In a 2017 article, Nature reported on the Medical Research Institute at Wuhan University, which houses the Biosafety Level 4 BSL-4 lab, which cost 300 million won, US 44 million to set up. The purpose of the lab included a plan to study the pathogen that causes SARS, prompting Nature to cite worries about preventing viruses from escaping the lab. The SARS virus has escaped from high-level containment facilities in Beijing multiple times, notes the article, referencing Richard Ebright, a molecular biologist at Rutgers University. Zero Hedge questioned whether the lab in Wuhan may be China's version of Umbrella Corp, reference to the pharmaceutical company in the Resident Evil universe, which secretly developed bioweapons. And of course, this is where it is, right in the middle of the city. According to their article, the location of the research center in Wuhan prompts the immediate question whether the coronavirus epidemic isn't a weaponized virus that just happened to escape the lab. The official explanation is that the coronavirus originated from an illegal seafood market in Wuhan that conducted illegal transactions of wild animals. Given that the market sold bats and snakes, with scientists linking snakes to the virus and Chinese people consume both as food, that explanation still remains the most likely. Well, I'm thinking that there's a good chance that it escaped. I'm thinking that that is a just a cover up by the Chinese, because do you really think they want to say, oops, it escaped? Yeah, I don't think so. Don't think they're wanting to do that. All right, let's go back here and look at this. Oh, I was wrong. There's 7 cities in China now. 7, count them, 7. The following 7 cities in China are on lockdown to prevent the spread of nCoV, or novel coronavirus. And I can't pronounce all these names, so I'll let you just take a gander here. I'll make them bigger because some of you are on your tiny phones. And I'm always thinking of my tiny phone people. So yeah, these are the cities, over 22 million people in total. So I was right about the number. I was wrong about the number of the city are under lockdown orders. You know what lockdown orders are, right? It's quarantine. They're quarantined. No one in, no one out. You want to get out of the city? Not going to happen unless you sneak out. Want to get into the city? Now they are letting, I did see that they were letting some trucks in that had masks and supplies of that nature, which, they pretty much have to let in. But yeah, very, very limited in and out, and everything's shut down. And I can't imagine the fear that the people in those cities are feeling right now. 22 million of them. Just think of that. Now let's go to this. Very concerning videos out of Wuhan in the last 24 hours. Only over 20 million Chinese citizens are under mandatory lockdown. Last count, 7 cities. Now, let's look at this. I want to show you. See that girl? Just in a market, she just drops. Her purse goes flying. You can tell that she just dropped on her feet. Now, whether she's alive or dead, I don't know. I pray she's still alive, but doesn't look too promising. It's all. There's another person. We saw that same person earlier. Let's see if there's any more here. There's another person. We saw that person too in the hospital that had just dropped. This is happening. There are more and more and more videos, and they're getting these out at great personal peril. Really, these people, it's not like here where we can upload something and just not face any consequences for it. They are not allowed to, the social media and everything's on lockdown. They're not allowed to get this stuff out. They don't want the world to see what's really happening there. All right. And let me come back over here. And this by Jack Persobic. Huge was just told by a Chinese reporter that CCP authorities are allowing disinformation to spread on social media to downplay the full extent of the Wuhan virus outbreak and using AI to censor the real videos. So yeah, it's not getting out because, and there are a lot of, I know just on my last video that I did, some of the comments, I knew I did not recognize the name, and there's always people that watch that I don't recognize, but you know, I could tell by what they were saying that they weren't real people. Really, they're just putting out that disinformation like, oh yeah, this is a big deal, just like Ebola was a big deal, just like SARS was a big deal. Right, sure. It's not the same. This is not even, doesn't even come close. I mean, this is, the others don't even come close to this. There has never, I'm not aware of ever, has any city like that many people ever been placed under quarantine, ever. But yeah, you're right. It's nothing to worry about. Yeah, it's probably nothing. They probably just do this just for, I don't know, for fun. I don't know. Why not? Damage their own economy. You know, imprison their own people. Yeah, I'm sure they just do that for fun. I'm sure it's nothing to worry about. Yeah. When the government tells you not to worry, yeah, you need to start worrying. And our government has not said any such thing yet, but yet there is that message coming out all the time. Well, it's under control. It's under control. No, it isn't. It's spreading. New countries keep popping up that it's spread to. It's not under control. It's not under control by a long shot. Anyway, well, let's go here. I think, didn't I just read this? Maybe I put that down twice. No, that was Summit News, and this is Zero Hedge, but it's basically the same information. The Real Umbrella Corp Wuhan Ultra Biohazard Lab was studying the world's most dangerous pathogens. What could go wrong? No, really, what could go wrong? So anyway, this is much the same as we were reading before in the last article. So I don't think I will take time to get into this, but it's interesting that that lab was right there in the same city that is now ground zero for this epidemic. And I would say by the pictures, it's an epidemic. Now we've got more to get to here. All right, let's, yeah. Now this person we should listen to. He is a virologist, and he is the one that, I believe, if this is the article, he is the one that actually contained the SARS virus outbreak and so forth. Virologist who visited Wuhan says coronavirus epidemic situation out of control. Now, who do I believe? Government officials or a virologist who has actually been on the ground there? Yeah, I'll go with him. So now this may not be the guy that I'm thinking of. The expert said, I've experienced so much and I've never felt scared before, but this time I'm scared. according to a top virologist who was involved in the response to SARS, is saying the coronavirus is spreading out of control and says it's the first time he's been scared. As reported by the Globe and Mail, Dr. Guan, the director of the State Key Laboratory of Emergency Infectious Diseases at the University of Hong Kong, explains his concerns. Dr. Guan, however, left Wuhan convinced that the epidemic situation was out of control. Most viral outbreaks are controllable, he said. He pointed to SARS, H5N1, which is bird flu, and swine fever. I've experienced so much and I've never felt scared before, he said, but this time I'm scared. And as if that wasn't enough, Guan said conservative estimates suggest that the scale of infection may eventually be 10 times higher than SARS, which means that it will infect people 10 times faster than SARS. It will spread that much faster as well. So I believe that's what he's saying there. The number of infected individuals and deaths from coronavirus continues to grow. As I wrote earlier, China's government appears to be in full-blown panic mode. China has already locked down 4 cities, now 7, with a whopping 20 million, now 22 million people now quarantined. 22 million people quarantined. I mean, try to wrap your head around that, really. Think of wherever you live, whether it's a big city or a small city, just think about how, and that's on a small scale, how your community would feel if all the roads out were blocked, all the roads in were blocked, your grocery stores were now empty, and there's people dropping dead in the streets. Can you think of the panic that you would feel? I feel awful for these people. Yet those measures, the largest quarantine in human history, but you're right, it's nothing to worry about. Yeah, it's all under control, yeah. Sure it is. Yet those measures, the largest quarantine in human history, may not be enough, said Guan. When these people returned to their hometowns, they took the virus to all parts of the country. He said in Wuhan, doctors told Kagson that the number of infected people could reach 6,000. Using computer modeling, researchers at Imperial College London now estimate there could be as many as 4,000 cases in Wuhan alone. I believe it's much more than that, but I could be wrong. Given the incubation period of the virus, Dr. Guan estimates that symptoms may begin to appear more broadly across China beginning January 25th. Well, we'll see. Today's the 23rd. We just got 2 more days and we'll see. If that's the case, we'll know. All right. Let's come back here and let's go to this. I said it was important. I made a little note to myself, so it must be important. Excuse me for a moment. Excuse me. Oh, that's good water. All right. China, this is one of the most disturbing news reports about Wuhan pneumonia. Central Theater Command assists Wuhan lockdown. CCP, Central Military Commission, has ordered Central Command to assist the Wuhan lockdown in response to social instability due to panic emotions. Gee, I wonder why they're panicking. But I'm sure it's nothing. I'm sure that they just go around panicking for no reason at all. The soldiers were equipped with biological protective gear, and they vowed to win the campaign with high morale. To make Chairman Xi at ease, the soldiers are not afraid of hardships or even death, and they will finish the lockdown task with a strong will. Motorized equipment will be put to use. Dongfeng EQ 2050 armored vehicle, armored personnel carriers, and light tanks were all put to use to defend the roadblocks. They're making sure nobody gets out or in. So basically, there's mass chaos and panic in the streets. They're putting up concrete barriers, but won't stop people on foot. So now they bring in the Bearcats. Are they going to shoot them if they demand to cross? And then it says 100%. I don't know. Will they shoot them? I guess if they're trying to keep it contained to the areas where it is and not spread to the rest of China, they might. Life is pretty cheap over there. armed military arrive to lock you in a city and to make sure you don't panic. Yeah, that would cause me to just calm right down. Yeah, seeing all those armored vehicles, it would just cause me to, all of a sudden I would just be, oh, you know what? I can go to bed and not worry. Right. I can't imagine what the people are going through there right now. It's literally a hellhole. Speechless, their claimed aim is to prevent social instability caused by public fears, not for the health of people. Isn't that interesting? Social instability. Yes, right. That's why they're there. First, it was the lockdown of all information about Wuhan pneumonia. Now it's the lockdown of Wuhan City and its 10 million plus citizens. It's actually 11 million. What a ridiculous and moron regime. Moronic would be the word. I predicted Wuhan would collapse into riots in 3 days from lockdown. It looked like my timeline was off by 2 days if they're sending in the army to control the city. When lockdown announcement is made, citizens inside already becomes virus itself. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Obviously, English isn't, some of the people that are posting here, English isn't their first language, so we can certainly make concessions for that. Inhumane, not to heal people, but kill people who suffer. Well, we don't know that that's what's happening yet. So anyway, just seeing if there was anything more here about that. There is lots of stuff out there if you want to dig and find it, because I'm telling you, you're never, ever, you could sit in front of a television until the end of eternity, and you'll never hear it. You'll never hear it. It would be nice if our media was once again owned by we, the people, and if they actually reported the news, that would be wonderful. If there was actually real journalists there who really dig, because a lot of this stuff isn't hard to find. It's not brain surgery. Excuse me. All right, message from a frontline doc in Wuhan. The reason for the stopped growing number of infected Wuhan pneumonia is because the hospitals have run out of virus test kits. So they don't have any virus test kits. So how can they know that that's the logic there. How can we know that they died of that? Because we don't have any more kits left. This is not a joke from Soviet Union. This is China now. A video from a hospital in Wuhan. I am so speechless. Just look at the crowd. It only takes one real patient of the coronavirus to doom everyone else on the site. Like, it's right. Like, look at all these people. Look at the hallways. They're just filled with people waiting to be seen because they're all not feeling well. Some of them just drop there. But let's say you're there and you don't have the virus. Well, you do now, because it's in the air for 24 to 48 hours. And those little masks, now they're saying that they're probably not effective at all, somewhat, but not at all, because after you've had them on for 20 minutes or half an hour, they become moist because you're breathing into them, and the humidity and the moistness allows the virus to get in. They're saying that masks should be doubled, but here's the thing. How do you double masks if they've run out of them? That's hard to do, isn't it? But also, they're saying that the virus can get in through your eyes, so you really should have eye protection on as well. Yeah, and they're saying that because a doctor got the virus who was completely gowned and gloved and had mask on, but did not have his eyes covered, and he got the virus. All right. Okay, let's see what this says. This from Shen Liu. This piece on Wuhan virus is incredible. Residents started showing symptoms as early as mid-December. Some hospitals refused to admit people working at the Hunan seafood market where the virus originated. Some infected patients are not in quarantine. I can believe that. In a city of 11 million people, come on, you can't control 11 million people. What are you going to do? Knock door to door? Think about doing that in New York City. Think about the momentous or the monumental task at hand if this were to happen in some place like New York City and you had to go door to door. Yeah, that wouldn't go over too well. Actually, well, in New York City, you'd probably end up dead. I don't know. I don't think they allow guns in New York City, do they? I don't think they do. I know there are some places that are, no gun zones, and those are usually the places of greatest crime. Anyway, let's go on now because there's more. Okay. Now, says if this coronavirus takes 7 to 14 days to incubate, how effective is screening via patient temperature? Well, it's not. Just asking. You see, a post from Wuhan Railway says that 300,000 people traveled by train out of Wuhan on Wednesday, headed to every corner of the country, but the post was quickly deleted. Gee, I wonder why. Seriously? They let a train out on Wednesday of 300,000 people traveling to all parts of China? Well, it's out of control then. It's out of control because chances are at least a few of those people had it. Unbelievable. All right. Now, let's look at this. This is a little bit off, but still interesting. Let's get out of here. Okay, dismissal and investigation by RCMP of Winnipeg, co-inventor of Ebola drug, stuns colleagues. Now, the RCMP, Royal Canadian Mounted Police, I know a lot of Americans think that they're still riding around on their horses. Now, they still have that outfit, and yes, they look like Mounties. Well, they don't in every day, but any ceremonial thing, yes, they look like Mounties, and they do have a mounted division, but Mounties don't just go around on horses because that would be a little difficult. So, yeah, they would be like your FBI. That's what I would kind of equate them to in terms of America. Now, the rest of the world, I don't know. But anyway, so the Ebola drug was developed in Canada, the one that's supposed to help with Ebola. In the US, at least security agencies have recently put a magnifying glass on researchers and students with ties to China amid espionage fears. Heinz Feldman has known and worked with, I don't know this person's name, XQ, that's what we'll call him because I can't pronounce that, for years, and to this day says he has nothing but respect for his fellow microbiologists. Indeed, Q, not RQ, XQ, won global accolades for her part in developing an experimental new drug for treating Ebola virus, most of the inquiry done at her high security lab in Winnipeg. So Feldman says he was taken aback Monday to see a media report that the scientist and her entire research team, all from China, had been escorted out of the federal government's National Microbiology Laboratory, NML, last week and reported to the RCMP. Interesting. I still hope that this is a big misunderstanding, said the former head of the lab's special pathogens program where XQ worked. She is a great researcher. She has been a great collaborator. She has been a great interactor in the field. I can't say anything bad about her. Feldman, now chief of the U.S. National Institutes of Health Laboratory of Virology in Montana, stressed that he had no personal knowledge of the reported events. I still hope that this is a big misunderstanding. CBC, yeah, you can trust them, said that XQ, as well as husband and NML scientist Keating Cheng and her students have been forcibly dispatched from the facility on July 5th. Well, this is old. What does this have to do with this is old. Now, I'm not really sure why this came up as pertinent. Let me see what she did. Maybe it is related. Eric Morissette, a spokesman for the Public Health Agency of Canada, would not comment on whether she had been dismissed, citing privacy concerns, but he said the agency is looking into an administrative matter and advised the RCMP on May 24th of possible policy breaches at the lab. The organization is taking steps to resolve it expeditiously, said Morissette in a statement. There is no employee from the NML under arrest or confined to their home. He also said the public is not at risk and the work of the lab continues. Well, what else are they going to say? Oops, something got out. I don't think it got out, but it may. I think there was fear there that they were using this information and relaying it to China, from my understanding anyway. An RCMP spokesman confirmed to Reuters news agency it had received a referral from the agency but refused to comment on its investigation. A University of Manitoba spokesman told Reuters that XQ's non-paying adjunct professorship had been suspended pending an RCMP investigation. With the government releasing so few details, it is unclear what might be behind the unusual episode. Yes, I would like to know, but you'll never find it out from Canada. Never. They are, it is very difficult to get information like this about anything in Canada because it's owned, completely owned. All right, let's get out of there because I'm not sure whether it is or isn't related, but it's something to keep in the back of our minds. Okay, and let's come down here and look at the last item here. There's many more, but you know, we'd be here all night. And I'm sure this is going to be continuing in the days and weeks to come. Yeah, this is the supermarket. Not much there. Supermarket shelves have been emptied as the city of Wuhan is tightly sealed off. A few things, not too much. And I did have, I thought I had it on, I had put it, a link to it, but apparently not, of people fighting over food. So people were fighting over the food that was there. So I don't know. I sincerely pray that, I mean, it's bad that they're quarantined, but I certainly hope that they have a way figured out to get food into these cities. Because if they are planning on starving these people, I don't know. No wonder they don't want information to get out. And I really feel bad for these people because I would be terrified. I really would. And admit it, you would be too. If you were quarantined in a city and everybody was dropping like flies around you and the hospitals were overrun, you know, if you go to a hospital, you're not going to be seen for a long, long time. What do? Do you just stay home and die? I don't know. This is not a good thing that these people are facing at all. So anyway, and this person asked the question, that was my thought. How do 20 million people survive being cut off with no in and out and very little fuel, food, supplies, and meds? I suppose there will be airdrops of some sort. Well, let's hope. Let's hope. I don't know, but what I do know is we're not being told the truth. So I'm going to stay on this because I do believe it's going to get exponentially worse in the coming days. And by next week, we're either, it's probably either going to be on the downturn or else it's going to be. So I guess we'll have to just wait and see. But if you're a believer, pray for those people because I would not want to be in their shoes, and it's horrific. Imagine the fear when you know that there's a virus in the city and you're seeing people drop dead in the streets. It'd be a little disconcerting, if you ask me. All right. Well, that is it for this video. I do have another video and I'm going to upload that. I'm going to start on that as soon as this is uploaded. So again, I apologize for the audio. I know it's horrific, but it will be fixed by tomorrow, one way or another. So there you go. All right. You guys have a wonderful evening. Stay safe, stay well, stay blessed, and keep seeking truth, because there's lies everywhere. We now have to actively seek out the truth. It's sad, but true. Good night, guys.